Let's review the replication topologies of our AD forest with multiple sites and multiple domains. First, we will document replication connections using the script that we have in the previous lesson. Then we will draw the replication connections in each domain. After that, we will draw the replications between domains. If you are interested, let me explain how the script is written. And finally, we will sum up the lesson with the keynotes. To document replication connections, all we need to do is to run this script and it will generate the list of replication connections from one domain controller to all other domain controllers. From there, we can draw replication connections. Please note that you can run this script on any AD forest that you have access to, assuming you have enough permission to do it. To document, let's put the replication connections generated by the script to this table with the source and the destination domain controllers. Let's now document the replication connections in itlifeskills.local domain. As you can see from the table, we have the replication connection from GPVDC01 to GPVDC02 and from GPVDC02 back to GPVDC01. Let's now draw the replication connections in hq.itlifeskills.local domain. As you can see from the table, GPVDC11 replicate to LPVDC02 and OPVDC01 and OPVDC01 replicated back to GPVDC11. LPVDC02 replicated back to GPVDC11 and LPVDC03 and LPVDC03 replicated back to LPVDC02. As you can see, when domain controllers of the same domain are installed in multiple different sites, the replication connections are automatically built based on the site links that we configured. And a DC in each site is elected as the bridgehead server to replicate and receive the changes in that site to all other sites. Even though we configure the silent bridge to connect Elgin and Aurora, there is no replication connection between Elgin and Aurora because the cost for the replication between Elgin and Aurora via the silent bridge is the same as the replication cost between Elgin and Aurora via Chicago site. With the current replication topology, Chicago acts as the hub site, which means all the changes in Elgin must be replicated to Chicago first, then to Aurora. Similarly, all the changes in Aurora must be replicated to Chicago first, then to Elgin. If all the domain controllers in Chicago sites are down for any reasons, Active Directory will automatically build replication connections between Elgin and Aurora via the silent bridge. Therefore, configuring the silent bridge is necessary. Let's now draw the replication connections between domain controllers in itlifeskills.local domain and domain controllers in hq.itlifeskills.local domain. From the table, we see that there's a replication connection from CPVDC01 to CPVDC11, OPVDC01 and LHPVDC02, and from CPVDC02 to CPVDC11. and from CPVDC11 to CPVDC01 and CPVDC02. From the replication topologies, we see that CPVDC11 is in the hub side and it acts as the bridge to replicate all the changes from all domain controllers between the two domains. We also see that there is one-way replication connection from CPVDC01 to each of the bridgehead server in each site, since CPVDC01 is the schema master. If you are interested, let's see how I wrote the script. By looking up Microsoft website, I found this command to show us the replication connection, and by putting the filter with the store option, it will show us all the replication connections. Let's run the commands. As you can see, it shows us all the replication connections with many details. However, I am only interested in the two fields replicate from directory server and replicate to directory server. So I only select these two fields. So we put the pi and select replicate from directory server, copy it and paste, and then replicate to directory server and paste. And let's clean up and run the command. And you can see it shows us the replication connection from directory server to directory server. Let's now filter to only the list of replication connections from a specific domain controller, such as CPVDC01 to all other domain controllers. To do that, we need to put in the where clause and check each of replicate from directory server. So we just need to copy replicate from directory server field and paste it here. And we only want to get the ones that contain CPVDC01. So we just copy CPVDC01 and paste it in the command. Now let's run the command. As you can see, this list only contains the replication connections from CPVDC01 to all other domain controllers. Now to view all the domain controllers that CPVDC01 replicating to, let's put this in a new line, and then we filter for the field replicate to directory server. So we just copy this field and paste it here and run the command. And you can see these are the list of all the domain controllers that CPVDC01 replicating to. Next, I need to get the list of all domain controllers in the ID forest. By looking up Microsoft website, I found this command get AD domain controllers, and to display all the domain controllers, I need to put in the filter with the store option. Now let's run the command. As you can see, this command, however, only gives us all the domain controllers in the domain itivlifeskills.local. The reason is that I ran the command on CPVDC01, which belongs to the domain itivlifeskills.local. By checking the command get AD domain controller, I found the server option, which allows us to specify the domain name. and the command will give us all the domain controllers in that domain. So let's put in the domain name it-liveskills.local, and let's clean up the screen and run the command. And you can see these are all the domain controllers in the domain it-liveskills.local. Now let's put in hq.it-liveskills.local and run the command. And here are the list of all the domain controllers in the domain hq.it-liveskills.local. The next logical step is to find all the domains in the AD forest. And by looking up Microsoft website, I found this command get AD forest. Now let's run the command. As you can see, the domain fields give us all the domains in the AD forest. So let's filter for that field. To do that, we just need to copy the domains field and put the command in the bracket and type in dot domains. Now let's run the commands. As you can see, here are the list of all domains in the AD forest. Let's now combine these two commands together, which will give us the list of all domain controllers in the AD forest. To do that, we need to put in the pi and then type in the for each command and then put this command in the bracket and then replace the domain with the variable $sign underscore. So this command will give us the list of all domains, and this symbol meaning for each domain generated by this command, it will put it in the variable. So this command will run against each domain. Now let's run the command. As you can see, it gives us the list of all domain controllers in the AD forest. As you can see, this command gives us so much detail about the domain controllers in the AD forest. However, I am only interested in the host name, so I just copy the host name and put this command in the bracket and filter for the hostname by typing .hostname and run the command. Now the command gives us all the names of the domain controllers in the AD forest. Now we know this command gives us all the names of the DCs in the AD forest, so we store it in the source DCs variable. Next, we need to check for each source DC, which DCs it is replicating to. Here we type in the for each source DCs in source DCs. Remember, this is a singular and this is a plural. And we know this command gives us all the destination DCs from the source DCs. So we can put it in the destination DCs variable. So here we type in $sign destination DCs. As you can see, it show up as an existing variable because I typed it before. But to be on the safe side, we need to type the whole word destination DCs and paste the command. And we need to fix this up to make it looks nice. Next, we need to replace GPVDC01 with source DCs. So we need to copy the source DCs variable and paste it in the position of GPVDC01. You also notice that the source DCs is in the fully qualified domain name format, but the replicate to directory server is in distinguished name, which only contains the host name. So we need to put the source DC in the correct format with only the host name. To do that, we need to split the source DC name by the dot. So here we put it in the bracket and put it in the dot, and we only get the first position, which is position 0. And now we run the command. Let's verify the result. First, we need to select source DCs. As you can see it in the fully qualified domain name. Now we need to check this, and it must be in the host name. It looks good. Now we just check the destination DCs, and it looks good. As you can see, the destination DCs are in distinguished name format, which makes it difficult to see. So we want to put our destination DCs in the hostname format of one string. To do that, we need to write a for each loop, and we will use DC variable, which represents one item of the destination DCs in each loop. To put all the DCs in one string, we will use the destination DC variable, and it will add the host name of the current DC into its string. As you can see in the first loop, the DC variable will represent the first item of the destination DC, which is a distinguished name of CPVDC01, and we need to convert it into the host name. To do that, we need to split the string by the comma, and we will get the first item, which is the item 0. And after that, we will get the string cn equal cpvdc01. And to get the host name, we need to split that string again using the equal sign. So here we type in split, and we split it by the equal sign, and we get the item number second, which represent by the index 1. And we want to separate each DC by the semicolon. So we add the semicolon here. So as you can see, in the first loop, we will get CPVDC01, and in the second loop, we will get CPVDC11. And if there's more destination DC, it will add all the destination DC into the destination DC string. Now to show the result, we will write host, and to make it easy to understand, we will put it replicating from, and then we put the source DC variable to destination DC variable. The destination DC variable now include all the host name of the destination DCs. And for each source DC, we need to reset the destination DC variable. So here in the beginning of the loop, we need to reset it by putting it equal to null value. And now we run the command, and as you can see, it shows the results